Okay, and we are live. ¿Qué tal, amigos? Stuart here from Spain Speaks with this evening's live stream. It is 7:35 p.m. It is the 11th of June 2024. And as always, we'll look at some of the stories that have caught my attention in the press today here in Spain. Some interesting stories around, I'm not going to lie, so stay tuned for those. And we'll also take a look at some comments that have been left on the channel in recent times also. And in the second half of the video, we'll go into the chat section if I'm not feeling too bad. I'm a bit under the weather this evening, got a mild cold that somebody has given to me. Don't worry, I know who they are. But always uncomfortable when you've got a little bit of nasal congestion, let's say. So hopefully I'll be able to get through the news. So let's get it out of the way here quickly. The first piece of news, and a big change in Spanish politics yesterday. Somebody that was supposed to be the saviour of the left-wing side of politics here in Spain, Yolanda Díaz, has stepped down from the leadership of her party Sumar and has taken responsibility for the setback in the European elections. It's my fault, she says. Yolanda Díaz, the second vice president and leader of Sumar, announced on Monday that she's stepping down as the general coordinator of the party after the disappointing European election results to focus more on her role as minister. It's definitely my responsibility. The public has spoken, and I'm going to take responsibility. There needs to be a discussion, and with this decision, I'm paving the way for that, which should definitely be a collective effort, she said in a statement, describing it as a step aside to move forward in the kind of politics that really matter to people, the kind that serve the working class in this country. Yeah, Yolanda, cut the CRAP, please. You're not doing a very good job. You're not leading your party very well. Step down, and while you're there, why don't you get out of national politics altogether? Go and hide under a rock somewhere, because you've proven to be a fairly bad leader of that party. Every election that they go to, they do worse and worse and worse. So, Yolanda, take the hint and buzz off. Another one here from the second piece of news. The Supreme Court upholds national arrest warrant for Carles Puigdemont despite amnesty law. The official state gazette has published the amnesty law this Tuesday morning. In response, the Supreme Court decided to keep the national arrest warrant for ex-Catalan President Carles Puigdemont in place. Moreover, it issued a series of rulings, as reported by Europa Press, inviting the Public Prosecutor's Office and defence attorneys to express their opinions on the review of the process cases under the new amnesty law. At the Supreme Court, there are two ongoing criminal cases connected to the Catalan independence movement. One of these is the special case 20907 from 2017, popularly known as the process case. This case deals with allegations of disobedience and embezzlement. So Carles Puigdemont, who thought that maybe he would be in Catalonia at the moment, having breakfast every morning, a nice cup of coffee and pan tumaca, but it's not the case. Still living outside the country, still a fugitive in the eyes of Spanish law, and the Supreme Court trying to work out whether they continue with the prosecution against him, or whether they drop it altogether, as the amnesty is supposed to do. And as we know, the amnesty was handwritten by Mr. Puigdemont in order to make him able to come back to the country, him and his cronies who have been in other European countries for the last 6 or 7 years, doing whatever they do there, not quite sure, but not able to come back straight away. So no pan tumaca just yet for Mr. Puigdemont, or at least made in Catalonia, that is. Next piece of news here, and a Badajoz court launches an investigation into Pedro Sanchez's brother. The investigation, court number 3 of Badajoz, has opened investigative proceedings against David Sánchez Pérez Castejón, the brother of Pedro Sánchez, the president of the Badajoz Provincial Council, Miguel Ángel Gallardo, and the head of human resources at this institution. The court has initiated these investigations due to the alleged crimes against the public administration, the public treasury, embezzlement, misconduct, and influence peddling, according to sources from the High Court of Justice of Extremadura. So it seems that no one is safe that is close to Mr. Sanchez. They've gone after his wife, and by the way, I will say that it's the same group that put the complaints against Sanchez's wife, Manos Limpias, Clean Hands, that have put this complaint against Mr. Sanchez's brother there in Badajoz. Not really sure what's going on here. Haven't really looked into the detail, but apparently, as we saw there, embezzlement, misuse of funds, I think, misconduct, influence peddling. And I think it has something to do with the fact also that he resides in Portugal, works in Badajoz, which is on the border, lives in a place called Elvas in Portugal, allegedly. And of course, Portugal has a more favourable tax regime. So there is a hint there that he's not paying his taxes in Spain, even though he is working there, because, let's be honest, very easy to cross the border. Nobody would know. You could live in Portugal, pay your tax there, and work in Spain, no problem at all, as lots of other people do. But of course, going after him, so no one in Mr. Sanchez's family is safe at the moment with this group, Manos Limpias, and the investigations that they hand to judges, basically, and say, look, investigate this person. We think there's something fishy going on, which is what they did with his wife, Begoña Gomez, and now his brother, what was his name? Miguel Angel, David Sanchez Perez Castejon. Next piece of news, and a woman and man drowned at beach in Elche, Alicante. A 66-year-old man and a 64-year-old woman drowned this Monday at a beach in Elche, Alicante. According to sources from the Emergency Information and Coordination Centre, the CICU, around 1:15 p.m, the CICU was alerted that an unconscious man and woman had been found pulled from the water at the beach of Arenales del Sol. The CICU sources indicated that the autopsy will determine the causes of the drownings. Meanwhile, local police sources told EFE that the deceased were of German nationality, although it is unclear whether they were tourists or residents in Spain. Just a few hours earlier, a similar incident occurred. In this case, an 18-year-old young man drowned off the coast of Benidorm, Alicante, while swimming in a rocky area as his friends watched from a cliff. The deceased was caught by a strong current that prevented him from surfacing. So the risk that there is swimming in the Mediterranean. 3 people drowning, as we can see here. 2 Germans off the coast of Elche, in this place called Arenales del Sol. And if I'm not mistaken, I was there a couple of months ago, recorded a video at that very beach. And it does look very calm, very placid, the waters down there in the Mediterranean, but obviously there is current activity there, and you got to be careful. And maybe, although I don't know if this is the particular case, people that are not strong swimmers get into trouble down there. Maybe it was rough seas taking their morning swim. They come all the way down to Spain. They want to take advantage of their holidays. Bad weather maybe, don't know. I know it was bad weather here yesterday, and probably the case also in Alicante, and unfortunately losing their lives. So a warning needs to be sent out for people. Don't take the Mediterranean Sea lightly. 3 people drowning already, and the tourist season would have only just begun. Maybe they were locals, we don't know, but a tragedy down there in the Mediterranean. So if you are swimming in that ocean, even though it does look calm, be careful of those undercurrents that could sweep you out to sea and take your life, which was the case of the young man in Benidorm, 18 years of age. A tragedy. And you would think he would be a strong swimmer, but obviously not the case. Again, not sure where this person was from, but unfortunately losing their life. Now, comments. Let's have a look at this one here from Fluttergirl. I've never heard of them before, referring to that new political party, but the leader of the Party Is Over party sounds a little loco, crazy, rapists and pedophiles. Where is his proof that the Prime Minister is committing a crime? Yeah, well, he said Spain is a country of rapists and pedophiles, just basically extending it to the entire population. And he's become very popular on social media, this Mr. Alvise. That's not his real name, that's like a nickname that he has. But he screams down the microphone and he appeals to a certain type of person. People that like to use Telegram, people that maybe are young, don't see any opportunity for them in life, getting smashed everywhere they go by different groups of people telling them what they should and shouldn't be doing, trying to correct their behavior. And these people say, enough is enough. I don't want my behavior corrected. I'm happy being who I am, and I'm going to listen to this man because he's telling the truth. He's going to put the Prime Minister in jail. So basically people that have been hoodwinked on social media by this gentleman who declares himself, I think, well, people are comparing him with Bukele, is that his name, in El Salvador? Same type of speech, basically, and appealing to the same type of people. But let's be honest, is there a place for this in Spain? 800,000 votes or voters would say yes, but the rest of the population would say no. And they've also said that Vox is just not strong enough for them. They want harder policies, harder. Next one here from Schengen. The real income from tourist rental of flats isn't anywhere as much as the example mentioned. My agent fee is 36%, which is worth it because they add more than in extra rental. On top of that, I pay for gas, electricity, water, internet, building setup and upkeep, community fees, taxes and loan interest. I come out of it earning a little bit more than for a long-term tenancy, but the real benefit is that I can use it myself whenever I like, and I know I will walk into well-maintained accommodation and have support when anything needs to be done. This was a story that we saw yesterday that in the paper it was quoted saying that holiday rentals are something like 351% more lucrative than long-term rentals, which is why a lot of people are putting their money into short-term rental properties rather than long-term. It was Valencia that we saw. And a few people in the comment section, apart from Schengen, saying those figures are not true. It can't be that much money in the middle of winter that you're making that type of money. And the fact of the matter is that probably that is not the case. But in the peak months, you could be making decent money for a tourist flat in Valencia, located where the one mentioned yesterday is located, which is very central, close to the old part of Valencia, and tourists willing to pay top dollar for that place. But the fact of the matter is that, as pointed out there by Schengen, you come out on top with a short-term rental, even with all those fees. I think that's what I read there. So, and you don't have the risk of people stopping paying rent, because people with these accommodations normally pay up front, whereas if you have a long-term tenant, maybe they stop paying. And there's nothing you can do to get them out, as we have seen. So short-term rental to go, obviously, for the economic benefits for some, and also because of the security aspects that you don't get people squatting in your homes that stop paying rent. Because as I said, when you hire these Airbnbs or Booking, you pay up front. If Airbnb goes broke, that's another story. If Booking goes broke, that's another story. But people have paid. One here from AH. Maybe I missed the context for the McDonald's California reference, but the individual who made that comment does realize that the cost of living in California is extremely high? Question. For example, the average price of a one-bedroom apartment, depending on the country, can easily be 40% to 60% of that $3,000 figure after tax, which does not leave much for other necessities such as food and healthcare, etc. Yeah, this was pointed out yesterday. Somebody saying the McDonald's wages in California. And lots of people also jumped on that comment saying that the cost of living there is a lot higher than it is in Spain. So no comparison there. But I think what the person yesterday was trying to point out was that wages have gone up to try and deal with the cost of living crisis in California. And they've also had to put the price of burgers up and things like that as well in order to cover the costs. I think that was the point that was being made. But obviously California, the cost of living, from what I can gather, a lot more expensive than here. One here from Junk. Junuk. It's a good thing that some of the autonomous governments are starting to take action towards the skyrocketing rents driven by tourism. Yes, Junuk, some places are starting to take the initiative and starting to crack down on short-term rentals, but it's not easy because they pop up like mushrooms. on these platforms, and very difficult to control, especially when Booking and Airbnb say, it's not our problem, you work it out who's doing it, don't come looking at our books. So that's one of the issues that the government has, but they're trying to work out exactly what's going on and trying to crack down, but it's not easy, and we'll see if they ever do crack down on these short-term rentals, which for some people, as I mentioned, can be less of a hassle and a little bit more lucrative than the long-term version. Another one here from Terry. You're right about that weed thing. Yeah, I think yesterday, I'm not sure what I said about weed, whether it's the decriminalisation of it here in Spain or whether about the traffickers of weed will just continue to ply their trade because they'll work in a parallel market to the legal one if it ever did become legal. I'm not sure if in places in the States where it has become legal, a parallel market still exists, but I imagine that when you whack taxes on top of the price, shop rents and all of those things, if you needed like a place to distribute the weed, you might have to start paying overheads, which will add to the cost. So there's always going to be someone down the end of a dark alley who's got a bag in their pocket and is willing to sell you it. Quality, of course, can't be guaranteed, but hasn't stopped people in the past from going down that track. So interesting. And another one here. Sadly, the whole island of Tenerife stinks of cannabis, says Richard. Didn't get that experience when I went to Tenerife, to be honest, Richard. Didn't cop a whiff of cannabis when I was there, but obviously you're living on the island, I imagine, and it is annoying you, even though, as I know, it's not legal here in Spain to smoke, but there's a fairly tolerant attitude taken towards weed or hashish smoking, or at least that's been my experience. And the final one here from Adam Nuttall. Stop saying all amigos. Sounds stupid. Thanks for the feedback. Who's that? Adam? But I've never said all amigos in my life. If you don't understand Spanish, that's your issue. And what are you doing here on the channel if you don't really speak Spanish? That's the idea, because I say hola, hola, which in English means hello, H-E-L-L-O, hola, with H. In Portugal, no H, hola. Here, with H, hola, amigos. ¿Entiendes? Gilipollas? Thank you. Change the backdrop time. This one coming in from Finton, and it's the Cabo Roig down there in the Valencian community. A lovely photo here. Beautiful contrasting colours, definition in the sky, the rocks there with that brownie colour. Fantastic. So a great photo, Finton. Thanks very much for sending that one through. And if you've got a similar picture that you would like to see on the backdrop, this is the email address here, spainspeaks@gmail.com. If you're confused when I speak Spanish, please don't comment. Just work it out that it's a language that you don't understand. But don't comment like the person before, because it gets me a little bit upset. spainspeaks@gmail.com is the email address. So feel free to send pictures through or any other information that you would like to bring to my attention. And as Finton has done here with this great photo, thanks very much for that. Now, I'm going to change I've changed the backdrop. I'm going to put the like icon on the screen. Here we go. If you haven't hit the like icon yet, please do so just below the video. Feel free to hit the like button if you haven't done so already. We're currently at 69, which is a good number for some. 69 likes, so you might be like number 70 or like number 71 if you hit that like button now. We might get up to a decent tally. 73, we've just jumped 4. So thanks for hitting that like button, guys. People that have supported the channel in recent times, whether it's by buying me a coffee, super thanks option, or the Patreon longer term supporters, thank you very much for that support. And also channel members, people that have joined the channel in recent times. Marcus, the one that springs to mind, that joined the channel the other day. Thanks, Marcus, for coming on board the membership channel option. Thank you very much. Now, I'm going to go into the chat section. Not sure how long I'm going to last, because this head cold that I've got, it's uncomfortable, I'm going to be honest. And I'm cutting loose today on people that have been a little bit critical of me in recent times. So watch out if that's the case. Now, Andrew, first person that I can see here. I also had someone in the comment section the other day say, well, why do you watch this video? Everybody says the same thing. Nobody disagrees with anybody. Why does everybody want to disagree with everybody? If you want that type of thing, go to another channel, mate. Go to another channel and express that opinion. Here, we have a common thing, which is information about Spain. That's what we do. We don't get bogged down in controversial things. If you don't like it, go somewhere else. Don't waste your time writing a comment. That's time that you could have spent doing something more productive. Just my feedback for you. Andrew coming in. Good evening, Stuart and all. Hope you are well from a cold and wet London southeast. Pamela coming in from San Juan de los Terreros, down there in the south of Spain. James and Kathy coming in from the place where this photo's taken, Cabo Roche. Been raiding cats and dogs there. Chuletas de cordero, lamb chops for dinner with a nice, fine Jumilla wine. Sounds tasty. Sounds tasty, those chuletas. Sani coming in from a chilly Basingstoke. Doesn't seem to be getting any warmer in the in parts of the UK, unfortunately. John coming in, having asking us to have telling us to have a great week. All the best, says John. Thanks, John, for that. Valued member is John. TOL coming in from San Diego, not telling us what the temperature is today. Probably around 17 degrees. I'll go out on a limb and say that's the temperature today. Richard, who's currently in Spain, has bought some sobrasada from Mercadona to try it. It's very nice. Also got a full box of lovely sweet cherries from the local market for $6.50, 3 kilos. They are from Jaén. There we go. So some nice local cherries down there. And sobrasada from Mercadona. I haven't tried it myself, but the one that I ate the other day was from a specialty charcuterie store, I think. In fact, I know that's where I bought it from. So I haven't tried the Mercadona variety, but if you like it, I will try it. I'll let you know what I think, but I'm sure it's good. 30 there, but thunder, hardly any rain, and not like the flash flooding in Mallorca, very bad. Shay coming in from Los Angeles, California. Good to see you, Shay. I think formerly of Mexico, I think, Shay. Renan coming in also from LA. Gold Geologist checking in from San Antonio, Texas. A couple of days break from the 100 Fahrenheit temperatures. Thanks, Gold Geologist. Good to see you in the chat today. Kurt coming in from a rainy Valencia. That maybe was the issue with those people drowning. They wanted to get their morning swim in, and the conditions were a bit rough. Big fan of Yolanda? Not really, Kev. I like politicians that actually do things for people, not necessarily Yolanda Diaz, who seems to be all about me. And she made enemies, Kev. She made enemies with the former ponytailed guru called Pablo Iglesias, who left politics a couple of years ago. She made a very serious enemy with Mr. Iglesias, and he's been going after her ever since. So not sure how long she'll be the second vice president of the government, but I reckon she could do everyone a favour and probably go back to Galicia, where she comes from. Go back to her Communist Party roots up there in Galicia. Try and work it out. Showman Bailey, Bronny coming in. Sorry to hear about the cold. Have one at the moment too. Hope you're feeling better soon. Yeah, I think a lot of people seem to have colds at the moment. Changing weather maybe? Don't know. What's the reason? Bob, valued member, coming in from a very wet Torrevieja. Back with you live after 2 weeks absence. So we have a little catching up to do on the programs we have missed. Keep up the good works and thanks. Thanks for that, Bob. Good to see you. Stu's glee about the Diaz and Puigdemont news, funny as heck. I don't really try to be funny, Yusuf, just giving my opinion on the matter. These people come to glory, short-term glory here. Politicians, they sort of wash in and out with the tide. Over the last 10 years or so, we've seen a lot of people like this. The person I just mentioned, Pablo Iglesias, came in with the tide, washed out with the tide again, and Yolanda Diaz also. And in Galicia, they have very strong tides. So we'll see. Manuel coming in from Winnipeg, Canada. Nice day there. Hopefully you are too. I enjoy the videos. Thanks, Manuel. YouTubers, so many being drowned by riptides in currents recently. Sounds a little fishy. Could be sharks or orcas. Don't think so, YouTubers, but you never know. I think you would see a shark off the coast down there, to be honest. I could be wrong. Erica coming in from a wet and mild Terrassa, 17 degrees, made the live stream. Jonathan saying hello. What else we got going on? Adam had it all coming to him. Yeah, that type of comment from people ignorant to any other language other than their own. When you say something like that, as simple as hola, they interpret it as something else. I mean, I don't want to get too critical of the guy, but you got to open your ears, right? I mean, it's the most basic word in the Spanish language. Amigos, you understand what amigos is, right? But hola? I've got a 2-year-old niece that knows what that word means. Hola. Hola. Get 'em, Stu, says Rory. Thanks, Rory, for that. Thanks for that. What else we got here? Vodka Dave back in Bol Nuevo on Thursday. Looking forward to some sun and tapas. Bol Nuevo, of course, down there. I think it's in Torremolinos or Fuengirola, one of those places down there, I think. 17 degrees. Yeah, I thought it would be. Seems to be the trend there. Sobre Pasada from Mercadona is good. Not as good as the one you showed the video. Don't know what the price per kilo is. Mercadona seems to have fairly generic stuff. If you want gourmet stuff, I wouldn't go to Mercadona. I'm not putting Mercadona down. A lot of people like the supermarket, but if you want the good, the good stuff, as they say, you probably have to go to a specialty cold meats store, I would say. Jackie loves the information that I put out. And could I have hay fever? It's that time of the year. I've had hay fever, Richard, but my partner, people I share the house with here, also sick. And they don't normally have hay fever. So I think it is a cold. Seem to be going through different stages as well. And JW coming in from Sacramento, California. Hot one. Enjoy the videos. Now I'm going to wrap it up. The chat seems to have run dry. Bol Nuevo is near Mazaron, Murcia. Must have got it mixed up with something else. I thought maybe it was down there in Malaga, but they're in Murcia. Excuse my ignorance. And that's it. So no more comment here. 270 euros. That'd be €2.70, I suppose, for 250 grams, right? So if I do the maths there quickly, just over, what would that be? That'd be 10.80 per kilo. I think. Don't quote me on that. I think with my quick maths, that would be the price there. If it is 2.70, €2.70, I think that would be the price. Yeah, I think the one that I bought was around 5.80. No, sorry. The piece cost me €5 or €6. But per kilo, it was around 18 or 19. So a bit of a difference there, double the price. But again, like I said, if you go to one of these, specialty stores, higher prices, supposedly better quality. But if you like it, Richard, that's the most important thing, right? Get well soon, says Kev, and see you later from Melbourne, Australia, says Manuel. Good to see you, Manuel. Now I'm going to wrap it up. That's the end of the live stream for today. I think I might have to hit hay now, try and get over this cold as quickly as possible because I've got a trip coming up next week, so I don't want to be sick for that. So hopefully I can get over this quickly. Let's hope. Thanks for watching. Thanks for participating in the chat. Back again tomorrow with another regular video. Hopefully a live stream on Thursday, depending on my health, of course. More content, we imagine. Again, it will depend on my health. But hopefully, hasta luego, hasta entonces, adios, which means goodbye in Spanish for that person that doesn't know how to say hello. Adios, goodbye. Adios, Dios, God, adios, goodbye.